Become unstoppable. 5 daily habits. Good morning, beautiful souls. Let me tell you something that can change your life. No one is born unstoppable. It's not in your DNA. It's not in your luck. It's in your daily decisions. Every single day, you're either building your future or breaking it with your habits. If you want to become truly unstoppable, not just successful, but grounded, resilient, and on fire for life, you need these 5 habits like the air you breathe. So, let's dive into the blueprint. 1, own your mornings like a warrior. The way you begin your day is the way your life unfolds. Start with intention, not distraction. Don't reach for your phone. Don't scroll. Instead, wake up with purpose. Breathe deeply. Center yourself. Spend even just 5 minutes in stillness. Reflect. Say out loud, "Today I show up for my life." This is how the unstoppable begin their mornings, not with chaos, but with clarity. If you don't command your morning, the world will command your mind. 2, visualize your future daily. You don't get what you want. You get what you believe you deserve. So every single day, I want you to see it. Picture the life you are building. See the version of yourself that's bold, fearless, disciplined, and kind. You don't need to wait for the world to validate you. Validate yourself. Close your eyes for 2 minutes. Visualize the goal. Then say, "This is already mine. I am already becoming this person." When you train your brain to believe it's possible, your actions follow that belief. That's when you become a force of nature. 3, learn something new every day. The mind is a muscle. The moment you stop feeding it, it stops expanding. Make it non-negotiable to learn daily. It doesn't need to be fancy. Read 5 pages, watch a 10-minute documentary, listen to a podcast, ask questions. Talk to people wiser than you. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. The most unstoppable people are curious. They never stop learning because they know knowledge is the sharpest weapon. 4, keep the promises you make to yourself. This one is big. This one will change your entire life. If you say you'll wake up at 6, do it. If you say you'll go to the gym, go. If you say you'll be kind, even when it's hard. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your confidence. But every time you honor your word, even in private, you build self-respect. You don't need to shout about your grind, just show up. Silently, consistently, daily. That's what makes you unstoppable. 5, protect your energy like it's sacred. You cannot fly if you're constantly weighed down by noise, by negativity, by people who don't believe in your dreams. Every day, take a moment to check in. What am I allowing into my space? Who am I spending my time with? Is this feeding me or draining me? Make peace your priority. Choose silence over gossip. Choose purpose over popularity. Guard your energy, because when your energy is clean, your vision becomes crystal clear. Every morning is a blank page. a clean slate, a fresh chance to shape the direction of your life. And yet, most people wake up like it's just another day. Eyes half open, already anxious, already running behind, reaching for their phones before they even remember who they are. But the truth is, your morning is not just a routine. It's your daily rebirth. It's the foundation of your power. And if you truly want to become unstoppable, you must learn to own your mornings like a warrior. A warrior doesn't rise by accident. They rise with intention. They don't stumble into the battlefield of life unprepared. They rise early. They breathe. They listen. They prepare their mind, their body, and their soul before the noise of the world tries to tell them who to be. This is how greatness begins. Not with loud declarations, but with quiet discipline. So let me ask you something. What's the first thing you do when you open your eyes? Is it gratitude or is it stress? Do you scroll through other people's lives or do you center yourself in your own? Do you run toward chaos or do you sit in stillness and decide how you want your energy to flow? You see, most people lose the day in the first 10 minutes of it. They let the outside world set the tone. They let notifications, emails, and demands dictate how they feel, how they move, and what they believe about themselves. But a warrior claims the morning as sacred. They understand that the first thoughts of the day are like seeds. Whatever you plant there, you'll harvest in your actions. That's why it's so important to create a morning ritual that is yours and yours alone. A ritual that is rooted in presence, not pressure. Maybe for you, it's sitting in silence with a cup of tea. Maybe it's praying or journaling. Maybe it's stretching your body and letting gratitude rise before you even step out of bed. Whatever it is, do it with intention. Do it without rushing. Do it because you deserve to start your day connected to something deeper than distraction. When you own your morning, you stop reacting and start creating. You stop moving from a place of urgency and start moving from a place of clarity. You begin to operate not as someone surviving the day, but as someone commanding it. It doesn't take hours. It doesn't require fancy routines or perfect silence. It just takes consistency. It takes you choosing every day to tune into your own rhythm before you let the world pull you into its noise. It takes you waking up and reminding yourself, I get to choose how I show up today. That one statement alone, that small act of reclaiming your power, can shift your entire life. There is a reason the most disciplined and successful people protect their mornings like sacred ground, because they know if you win the morning, you win the day. And if you string together enough powerful mornings, you begin to win at life. You begin to shape not just what happens around you, but what happens within you. And that is the greatest kind of power there is. So many people are looking for transformation, but they keep waiting for the perfect timing, the perfect plan, the perfect energy. But transformation doesn't begin in the loud moments. It doesn't begin when the world is watching. It begins when no one sees you. It begins in the quiet moments. When you choose to rise with discipline instead of delay. When you choose focus over frenzy. When you choose presence over panic. That choice, made again and again, becomes a habit. And that habit becomes identity. Suddenly, you're no longer someone who tries to get their life together. You're someone who leads it with intention, with purpose, with strength. It's not about perfection. You're going to have messy mornings. You're going to wake up late sometimes. You're going to want to skip the stillness and jump straight into the noise. And that's okay. You're human. But even on those days, Even in the rush, you can choose one small act of grounding, one deep breath, one silent moment, one affirmation whispered into the mirror. I am in control of my energy. I am in charge of my life. And slowly, with every sunrise, you become more rooted, more focused, more powerful. You stop letting the morning happen to you. You start becoming the architect of your own energy. That is what it means to own your mornings like a warrior. Not with ego, not with perfection, but with presence, with peace, and with power. The world will still pull at you. Life will still challenge you. But when you start the day grounded in who you are, no storm can shake you. You don't just survive the day, you lead it. And that is how you become unstoppable. You must see it before you can become it. That's the truth. Every person who has ever created something extraordinary, overcome the odds, or lived a deeply fulfilling life, they didn't just arrive there by accident. They saw it first. They closed their eyes and painted the picture long before it became reality. That's not fantasy. That's faith. That's vision. And that's a daily discipline you must practice if you want to become unstoppable. The world will try to distract you. It will tell you who you are based on your past, your surroundings, your limitations. But every morning, every evening, and even in the moments in between, you have the power to rewrite that narrative by simply visualizing the life you are choosing to build. Close your eyes just for a moment and imagine, what does your life look like when you're truly aligned with your highest self? What does it feel like to walk in purpose? What kind of energy do you carry? Who are you surrounded by? How do you talk to yourself? What does your day look like? Where do you live? What kind of impact are you making? Let it all play out like a movie in your mind. Not once, not sometimes, but every single day. This is not about delusion. This is not about escaping reality. It's about creating it. Visualization is more than daydreaming. It's more than wishing. It's the language of belief. When you visualize with clarity and emotion, you're not just fantasizing. You're telling your subconscious mind, this is where we're going. Prepare for it. And your mind will begin to work for you instead of against you. Your body will move with more intention. Your decisions will align with the vision. And the universe somehow starts moving pieces in your favor. But here's the thing. It doesn't work unless you show up for it daily. You can't just see the vision when life feels good. You can't only visualize when you're motivated. In fact, it's on your hardest days that visualization matters the most, because it gives your soul a direction when your circumstances try to trap you in fear. You don't have to spend hours doing it, just a few quiet minutes. Every morning, before the world demands your attention, sit in stillness. Breathe. And then see it, feel it, own it. Tell yourself, this is already mine. I am already becoming this person. Every step I take today is getting me closer. And it doesn't stop at vision. You must speak it. Speak belief into your goals every single day. Say it out loud. I am capable. I am ready. I am worthy of the life I imagine. Because your words carry energy. They plant seeds. They build the foundation beneath your vision. Speak it even when you don't feel it yet, especially when you don't feel it yet. That's not pretending, it's programming. You're training your mind to stop doubting and start believing. And belief is the birthplace of transformation. Every major shift in your life starts in the unseen, before the achievement, before the success, before the applause. There was an ordinary moment where you chose to believe in something bigger. That's what this habit is about. It's not about manifesting magic. It's about making belief a muscle. There will be days when your current reality looks nothing like the vision in your heart. Days when the gap feels too wide. Days when you want to give up. That's when you go back to the image in your mind. That's when you sit down, close your eyes, and say, I'm not there yet, but I'm not lost. I know exactly where I'm going. Do it every day until it's second nature, until it's not something you have to force, but something you can't live without, until that future version of you feels more real than the fear trying to hold you back. You see, we don't become great by accident. We become great by choice. And the first choice is to see it clearly, unapologetically, repeatedly. No one else needs to believe it. No one else needs to understand it. That's not their job. It's yours. And when you take full ownership of that inner vision, your life begins to shift. Not all at once, but piece by piece, moment by moment, belief by belief. This is the habit that separates dreamers from doers. It's not what they have. It's what they see every single day. They don't wait for proof. They don't wait for applause. They hold the vision through the storms, through the setbacks, through the silence. They speak belief until it becomes their reality. So if you're serious about becoming unstoppable, don't just wake up and go through the motions. Wake up and see yourself where you want to be. Speak it, feel it, align with it, and then move like it's already yours, because it is. There's something incredibly powerful about a mind that refuses to stay stagnant, a mind that stays open, curious, and hungry to grow. In a world where everything is changing, technology, business, people, opportunities, the only way to stay ahead, to stay relevant, to stay unstoppable, is to commit to learning every single day. Growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice. It's the choice to feed your mind intentionally, the choice to ask questions, the choice to explore ideas beyond your comfort zone. That's the mindset of someone who refuses to stay where they are. That's the mindset of someone building a future bigger than their past. Think about it. Your brain is the most powerful tool you have. But like any tool, it dulls when it's unused. It atrophies when it's ignored. But when you sharpen it daily, when you feed it new information, challenge it with new perspectives, introduce it to new possibilities, you become sharper. You begin to think differently. You speak with more clarity. You solve problems with more creativity. You move through the world with more confidence. Learning doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't mean enrolling in courses or earning degrees. It means being deliberate about growth. It means reading a few pages of a book that expands your thinking, listening to a podcast that challenges your assumptions, watching a documentary that opens your mind to a different culture, a new field, a new way of being. It's asking questions when you don't understand something instead of pretending to know. It's being humble enough to say, I don't know, but I'm willing to learn. That attitude alone can open doors you never imagined. The truth is, the most successful people never stop learning. They may be experts in one field, but they stay students of life. They understand that knowledge is not just power, it's protection. It protects you from stagnation, from ignorance, from falling behind. It protects your ability to adapt, to lead, to innovate, to stay relevant in a world that rewards the agile. And here's the thing, daily learning compounds. You may not feel the impact immediately. Reading 5 pages won't change your life overnight, but do it every day for a year and your mind won't be the same. Watch 10 minutes of an educational video every day, and in 6 months, you'll know more than you ever thought possible. Learning adds up, not just in knowledge, but in wisdom, in self-trust, and your ability to respond to life's challenge. Learning also stretches your imagination. It introduces you to people and ideas that make you think bigger. When you hear stories of people who rose from nothing, who built legacies, who disrupted industries, it reminds you that there are no limits, only mindsets. And the right mindset is built through consistent exposure to things that inspire you to grow. It also keeps you young, not in body, but in spirit. People who learn every day don't grow old in their thinking. They stay open. They stay excited. They stay lit up by life. They don't say, I already know that. They say, what else can I discover? That curiosity, that willingness to be a beginner again, that's what keeps your spirit vibrant. Daily learning also builds resilience. When life hits you, when circumstances shift, when what used to work stops working, the one thing that will carry you forward is your ability to adapt. And you can't adapt without learning. The people who rise from setbacks the fastest are the ones who ask, what is this teaching me? Instead of, why is this happening to me? Learning transforms pain into perspective. It turns struggle into strategy. You become unstoppable, not by knowing everything, but by being committed to learning anything. The world doesn't need more people who have all the answers. It needs more people who are willing to ask better questions, who are willing to admit they don't know, and who are eager to find out. Learning isn't just about your career. It's about your relationships, your emotions, your habits, your patterns. Read about human psychology. Listen to relationship experts. Study communication. Learn how your brain responds to stress. Learn about nutrition. Learn about financial literacy. Learn about you. The more you know yourself, the more powerful you become. Not over others, but over your own limitations. Because when you learn every day, you evolve every day. You shed old beliefs. You let go of outdated stories. You expand your perspective. And the more you expand, the more space you create for new ideas, new opportunities, new levels of growth. Make it a rule for yourself. I will not go to bed tonight without learning something new today. Hold yourself to it. Let it be your quiet commitment. Let it be your secret edge. Over time, it will separate you from the crowd, not because you're better, but because you're more awake, more informed, more grounded, more alive. The unstoppable ones are not the loudest, not the fastest, not even the most talented. They're the ones who wake up every day and say, I'm not done growing. They make learning a lifestyle. And that's what makes them limitless. The most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Not with your family, not with your partner, not with your audience, but with you. And at the center of that relationship is one question: can I trust me? That question defines your confidence. It defines your peace. It defines your power. Because real self-confidence doesn't come from compliments. It doesn't come from applause or validation. It comes from knowing that when you say you'll do something, you actually do it. Most people are walking around with broken trust, not with others, but with themselves. They make promises every day. I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to stop scrolling and focus on my goals. And then they break those promises. Not loudly, quietly, in the background, when no one is watching. But here's the truth. The promises you make in private are the ones that build your character in public. You want to know what creates unshakable belief? It's not hype, it's not motivation, it's discipline. Quiet, consistent discipline. It's showing up for yourself over and over again, even when the mood is gone, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it would be easier to quit. Because every time you follow through on what you said you would do, you cast a vote for the person you're becoming. Every single act of discipline, no matter how small, tells your brain, I can trust me. And that trust, that's the foundation of confidence. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You just need to do what you said. That's it. Keep it simple. If you say you'll go for a 10-minute walk, then do it, even if it's raining. If you say you'll write one paragraph, then write it. Even if you're tired. The size of the promise doesn't matter. The integrity does. And that's what we're really talking about here. Self-integrity, the ability to align your actions with your words. Because when your actions consistently contradict your intentions, you start to lose faith in yourself. You start to hesitate. You start to doubt. You start to play small, not because you aren't capable, but because you no longer believe you'll show up when it counts. The world will tell you that confidence is about being loud, being bold, being fearless. But real confidence is quiet. It's the calm presence of someone who knows, I will do what I say, and I don't need to prove it to anyone. That kind of belief doesn't need to announce itself. It walks into a room and speaks without saying a word. There's a power that builds when you become a person of your word, a power that cannot be taken away by circumstances, opinions, or setbacks. Because it doesn't come from anything outside of you. It comes from the way you've trained yourself to show up consistently over time. You start to develop what I call self-evidence. Evidence that says, I've done hard things before, I've followed through before, I've been disciplined before, I've kept going before, so I can do it again. That's what separates people who rise from people who retreat. It's not that they never struggle. It's not that they never doubt. It's that they've trained themselves to trust their own word. And because they trust themselves, they don't need outside permission to begin. They move, they act, they execute, they lead, not from ego, but from alignment. And the beautiful part, you can rebuild that trust at any time. Maybe you've broken promises in the past. Maybe you've let yourself down more times than you can count. That's okay. You're human. But that's not the end of the story. You can start today, right now, with one small promise, and then keep it. That's how you begin again. That's how you rebuild your own foundation. And once you start keeping promises to yourself, something shifts inside you. You don't need to chase confidence anymore. It rises within you. You don't need a fake discipline. It becomes part of your identity. You begin to walk differently, talk differently, live differently. Not because you're pretending to be someone new, but because you've become someone new. You become the kind of person who finishes what they start, who keeps their word even when no one is looking, especially when no one is looking. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your standards, and your standards are built by the promises you keep in private. You want to change your life? Don't wait for some massive transformation. Start with this. Make one promise to yourself today and keep it. That's how it begins. That's how you build unshakable belief, brick by brick, day by day, with discipline, with follow-through, with trust. And once you trust yourself fully, you become someone that nothing, not fear, not failure, not opinions, can stop. Your energy is your life force. It's not just a feeling. It's the power that fuels every thought you think, every word you speak, every move you make. And yet, most people give it away like it costs nothing. They give it to every distraction, every toxic conversation, every draining relationship, every opinion that was never meant for them to carry. But if you truly want to become unstoppable, you must learn this one truth. Your energy is sacred. And if you don't protect it, no one else will. You can have all the ambition in the world, all the dreams, all the plans, but if your energy is scattered, if it's constantly pulled, drained, weighed down, you will not have the strength to carry those dreams to the finish line. You'll lose momentum. You'll start doubting yourself, not because you lack potential, but because you allowed your power to leak into places that don't serve your purpose. So how do you protect your energy? First, you must become aware of what's draining you. Take inventory of your life. Pay attention to how you feel after every conversation, every meeting, every scroll through your phone. Ask yourself, is this feeding me or depleting me? Is this helping me grow or keeping me stuck? Do I feel lighter or heavier after being here? Because not everything that wants your attention deserves your presence. Not every invitation is an opportunity. Not every person is meant to sit at your table. You don't have to explain, you don't have to defend, and you don't have to feel guilty for choosing peace over pressure. It's okay to say no. It's okay to unfollow, to mute, to block, to walk away. Not out of anger, not out of ego, but out of love for yourself, for your growth, for your mental clarity. Protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's essential. It's how you stay grounded. It's how you stay focused. It's how you stay free. And it starts with boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they're filters. They help you decide what gets in and what stays out. They teach people how to treat you, not by what you say, but by what you allow. And when you raise your standards, when you stop entertaining negativity, when you stop allowing chaos to interrupt your calm, your whole world begins to shift. Because peace is not passive. Peace is power. Peace is the internal knowing that you don't have to react to everything, that you don't need to be everywhere, that you can let go of what's not meant for you without losing what's meant to be yours. You don't need to argue to prove your worth. You don't need to explain your silence. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stay calm in a room full of chaos and walk away from the noise. Not everything deserves a reaction. Not every battle needs to be fought. Some victories are won in the quiet, in the stillness, in the refusal to let your peace be disturbed. Protecting your energy also means guarding your time. Time is not just money, it's energy in motion. Where your time goes, your energy follows. So ask yourself, where am I spending my time? What am I giving my best energy to? Is this worth the life I'm building? Because you only get so much each day. You can't pour into everything. You have to be selective. You have to be intentional. Give your energy to what matters. Your growth, your healing, your purpose, your family, your calling. And just as important as protecting your energy from the outside is managing it on the inside. Because sometimes it's not the world that drains us. It's our own thoughts. It's the stories we replay, the self-doubt we feed, the guilt we carry, the resentment we refuse to release. If you want to stay powerful, you have to detox not just your schedule, but your mind. Clear out the clutter, replace negative self-talk with affirmations. Replace comparison with gratitude. Replace fear with faith. Give yourself the grace to rest, to breathe, to feel, to let go. You are not weak for needing space. You are not unproductive for protecting your peace. You are wise because you know that no dream can thrive in an environment of chaos. No purpose can grow in the soil of stress. You need space to think clearly. You need quiet to hear your intuition. You need stillness to recognize what truly matters. Your energy is the foundation of everything you build. If it's low, your decisions suffer. If it's scattered, your focus disappears. But when your energy is aligned, when it's protected, nurtured, respected, your power becomes magnetic. You attract what you are ready for. You walk with clarity. You move with calm authority. You become a steady force in an unstable world. So don't apologize for being mindful of your energy. Don't shrink to fit into places that don't honor your light. Don't dim yourself just to keep the peace with people who never valued yours. You were not created to be consumed by distractions. You were not born to be drained by people who don't understand your vision. You were created to rise, to grow, to lead, to shine. And to do that, you must protect your energy like it's sacred. So let me ask you again, do you want to become unstoppable? Then stop waiting for the world to hand you the perfect moment. The moment is now. Because greatness isn't built in giant leaps. It's built in quiet, consistent habits that you repeat when no one is watching. Own your mornings. Don't just wake up, rise. With intention, with clarity. Visualize your future. Don't just wish. See it. Speak it. Become it. Learn something new every single day. Don't just survive, evolve. Stretch your mind. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Don't just try, trust yourself. Build unshakable belief. And above all, protect your energy. Don't just react, guard your peace. Because your peace fuels your purpose. These are not just habits, these are foundations. And when practiced daily, they don't just change your routine, they change who you are. You don't have to be the loudest. You don't have to be the most talented. You just have to be the most committed, the most consistent, the most aligned. Be the person who honors the quiet work. Be the person who shows up every day. Be the person who says, I may not be there yet, but I'm not turning back now. You want to become unstoppable? Then live like it. Start today. Start small, but start. Because the life you want isn't waiting for motivation. It's waiting for you.